Welcome back to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Teen dating violence is a problem that runs across race, gender, and socioeconomic lines. According to the Journal of American Medical Association, approximately 1 in 5 female high school students report being physically or sexually abused by a dating partner. One well-documented approach to fighting this problem is to get teens actively involved in raising awareness to this problem. Now, if teens become more aware and more knowledgeable, they may be more likely to feel empowered to stop it when they see it, or especially when they experience it. In the studio with me today is Cheryl Shepard, an after-school site administrator at a middle school here who actually took on a project. Thanks for being with us on the show today. So, from what I understand, the Network Against Domestic Abuse issued a challenge to area schools to see if teenagers could come up with an idea on how to promote or develop more awareness around. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so your school decided to take on that project. So how did that all happen? I'm just curious. I mean, you heard about the challenge and you put the word out. How did you gather the group of kids who did that?
We have a man that comes on Thursdays to our program that does a lot with filming and recording. So when we heard about the challenge, we thought that would be a perfect opportunity for the kids to come up with a PSA that would have to do with teen dating violence, as a lot of them see that walking down the halls every day. The challenge that we faced right off the bat was that our 6th graders were the ones that were most interested in it, and 6th graders are generally 11 and 12 years old, and they haven't even hit that teenage mark yet, per se. So we kind of looked at what they were looking at and how they perceive teen dating violence right off the bat, which was a little bit different than people in high school might perceive it as, since it starts a little bit smaller and it's a little bit more verbal. And another thing that we looked at was whether it was more the boys doing it to the girls or girls doing it to the boys. And in the PSA that we created, we decided that it was important to show the female perspective of bullying the boyfriend in the relationship rather than the boyfriend being the bully.
So I can't help but tell you that 6th graders?
Yes.
I mean, I think when we think about teen dating violence, we're thinking about 15, 16-year-olds going to the bowling alley and, going on a date, but you're talking about 6th graders. So that is, and it's surprising to me that young they're starting to experience that.
Well, they're walking down the halls with the same kids, the same groups of kids. They go to lunch with these kids. They share a lot of space in the school with them as well, and after-school functions. Having older siblings, seeing either friends or their siblings in relationships that may not be so healthy and are things that they potentially then mimic. So I think it was really important to showcase that even as young as 6th grade and potentially even younger, that they should be able to see the signs of teen dating violence and bullying and the things that go along with that.
Well, the thing that concerns me is what I'm seeing as a parent educator. More parents are letting their kids watch TV unsupervised. So I think that's where some of it comes from. It could be a lot of it. They see inappropriate relationships on television. Kids are allowed. Now, there's going to be kids who will do the right thing. They know they know not to watch Jersey Shore or the Kardashians. But then there's ones who don't. And then some of those kids will say to their parents, "Oh, I don't watch it, Mom." But because we know teenagers stay up later because their circadian cycle changes, parents go to sleep, and what's the temptation? To turn the channel and watch it. And it's not, I don't even blame the kids. They're just curious about this. And so certain children, certain kids learn these inappropriate bad behaviors, and then they demonstrate at school. So even if your child isn't being able to watch that, they're exposed to what the kids are teaching them, right?
Yes, definitely. I think that, and they are looking to be cool or in the right kind of group, fit in with others. So again, if you get the 6th grader who thinks maybe I can fit in with the older kids if I kind of act like them, and they're mimicking some of these bad behaviors at a younger age.
It's troubling. It really is. That's why I tell parents, you've got to lock down on what you do at home. And that's why it's always a great idea to have their friends over your house, because you have control over monitoring who's behaving what particular ways. So when your group did this project, did you like put out a call to it, or?
Nope, it was open to all the kids that are in our after-school program. So anybody who was interested either in the topic or in the filming aspect or acting aspect of it had an opportunity to sit down and say, this is something I potentially want to do. Of Of course, with sixth graders, it was a little bit difficult trying to find a boy and a girl that wanted to pretend to date for the PSA, as you can imagine, being in different groups. And again, the kids all come from different backgrounds in the program. So I think that was the first biggest challenge. And the two that we have as the main characters, I think, did a fantastic job portraying that as sixth graders.
That's awesome. So really quickly, any outcome? What's the outcome from you having done this project?
We were runners up for the PSA contest, and the kids, it's actually online on YouTube, and it's also being entered in another contest for the state. So we're hoping to see what else the kids, where else we can show it.
Excellent. Well, good. Well, coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at this PSA, and we're going to meet some of the kids who were involved in that project. So stay with me. We'll be right back. So the stage is set. You know what the challenge was, and you met one of the judges, or me, I was actually one of the judges, and you met the teacher who was in charge of it. Now, in my next segment, we'll meet one of the winning groups of students who took on this challenge and see the project they completed firsthand. And it sends a very clear message. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.